The ERi-TV news broadcast crew and I, Delit Sahaya, are now ready for your daily news briefing at 10:30 local time. But first, let us catch up with the major headlines. Seminar on children and women's rights held in the Central Region. Schools Week organized in Shambako Sabzon. Trump urged UK and other nations to send warship to Strait of Hormuz. And Somalia forces killed 22 Al-Shabaab terrorists in the Central Region. Proceeding with our reports. A seminar focusing on children's and women's rights as well as on the eradication of harmful practices has been organized in schools in the Director of Psychology and teachers from junior and high schools in the Central Region. The seminar, conducted by members of the Ministry of Health and Labour Welfare, as well as members of the court in the Central Region. At the event, briefings was provided on the rights of children, as well as on the eradication of harmful practices in terms of law in the country regarding such practices. According to reports presented at the seminar, research carried out by women between ages of 15 and 49 indicated that practices of female genital mutilation has declined by 0.24% in 2024. Calling for the reinforced participation in the schools, the effort to eradicate harmful practices in general, and female genital mutilation in particular, Ms. Jamia Ibrahim, head of the Ministry of Labour and Social Welfare in the region, said that strong efforts are being exerted to declare the region free from female genital mutilation in 2026. According to reports, similar seminars has been conducted for members of the committee tasked with ensuring the rights of children in eradicating harmful practices, as well as members of PFDJ organized in the Central Region. A Schools Week featuring educational, cultural, and sports programs has been organized in Shambako Sabzon. Mr. Barkhat Hadgo, head of culture and sports and health in the subzone, indicated that strong competitiveness was observed in the program, in which about 500 students and 65 teachers coordinators took part. Mr. Osman Idris, head of the education office in the subzone, and Mr. Hailat Shame, head of social service in the subzone, said that the program has significant contribution in enhancing teaching and learning process and called for the strengthened continuity. Noting that the program has enabled students to identify their talents and capacities, Mr. Solomon Tahlahimanot, head of culture and sports and health in the education office of the Gashbarka region, commended all those who contributed to the successful implementation of the program. At the event, awards were presented to winners of various competitions. Members of the National Union of Eritrean Women in the Subzone in the Central Region has extended support to disadvantaged citizens. Accordingly, members of the Union branch in Arbata Asmara Subzone visited fistula patients at Mandafara Fistula Patient Rehabilitation Center and extended material support worth over 32,000 nakfa. At the event, Dr. Habtet Tahlahimanot, obstetrics and gynecology expert, and Dr. Tsa'ara Tasfu, medical director at the Southern Region Referral Hospital in Mandafara, commended the initiative taken by members of the National Union of Eritrean Women and provided briefings on the causes and consequences of fistula. Members of the National Union of Eritrean Women in Godaif Subzone also extended 47,000 nakfa in support of the 95 citizens with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Similarly, during their visit in Godaif Orphanage, members of the National Union of Eritrean Women in Hara Transportation Company extended sanitation materials. They also organized an entertainment program for their children at the orphanage. Straight ahead is our international news after a short break. Welcome back. Israel and Iran has traded strikes overnight, while missile and drone interceptions have been reported in Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Kuwait, and Qatar. The U.S. Embassy in Baghdad has warned its citizens in Iraq to leave immediately after a missile hit the building on Saturday. U.S. President Donald Trump said Iran wants to make a deal to end war, but he doesn't want yet because the terms are not good enough. Donald Trump has urged the UK and other nations to send warships in the Strait of Hormuz to help secure the key shipping route of the Middle East. Responding to Trump's comment, the UK Minister of Defense said that it is discussing a range of options to ensure security of shipping in the region with allies. Tehran said it will keep blocking the strait, the world's busiest oil shipping channel through which about 20% of the world's oil supplies usually passes. On our last report, Somalia's National Intelligence and Security Agency, backed by international partners, killed 22 al-Shabaab terrorists during the two separate operations carried out in Hiran and Mogadishu region. The NSA joint operation, which was carried out on Friday evening, targeted militant leaders who were planning to carry out terrorist attack in the region. The latest operation comes after the Allies force liberated Dar Sulam, Mubrak, and Hawadli, three strategic towns, following coordinated assault against al-Shabaab terrorists in the southern Somalia. The operation are being conducted under a newly launched Operation Rolling Thunder, which aimed at to dismantle key al-Shabaab strongholds, cut off routes used by terrorist activities, weakening the al-Shabaab operation capacity, and protect civilians to a key strategic sector. Dear viewers, we've come to the end of tonight's news. Let's have a quick recap of the headlines. Seminar on children and women's rights held in the central region. Schools Week organized in Shamkosabson. Trump urged the UK and other nations to send warships to Strait of Hormuz. And Somalia forces killed 22 al-Shabaab terrorists in the central region. And that was the news from ERi-TV Studios. This has been the ERi reporting. Thanks for watching and have a good night.